Good evening and welcome to Love Angels Light TV. Merry Christmas, everyone. I got the Christmas on. This is as Christmassy as Eileen gets because usually mine's a black one that says Bah Humbug across the front.
Well, tonight you're Mrs. Claus for a while.
Tonight I am. Tonight we're spreading joy, we're spreading cheer. Thank you for joining me, the beautiful Ms Tique. We do have Melanie from Sunflowers and me joining us shortly. Welcome, Robin. Ms Tique.
Thank you.
I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you for having me on this, what I call a very, very different Christmas Eve.
Yes. It is different because you guys are in lockdown, aren't you?
Absolutely, yes. Lockdown we are. We can't go anywhere. I'm in this, well, I know Gladys, God love her, trying to do the best that she can in separating everything. So I'm in the south side of the Northern Beaches, so I can't go anywhere. But if I want to have somebody come in, well, I can, but it's at my own risk because she's saying, do you want to actually bring people in from other parts? Anyway, it is what it is. We can't change it. We just have to roll with the punches. And, you know, overseas are doing it a lot worse than what we are. So it's a case of, I called it over a week ago where I just said, you know what? I put it on my Facebook page and I said, let's just pick another day. Let's just get rid of all the stress and the anxiety around COVID. Just pick another day and look forward to celebrating then instead of using all your energy for negativity in what we can't change. So anyway, we'll see how we go.
Yeah. 100%. We have 10 people watching already, which is awesome. Hello.
Hello,
everyone. And the beautiful Janina is watching.
Of course she is, God lover. You know, one of our soul sisters in the industry, a very astute, very talented woman, and always pleased that she can join when she can.
I'm incredibly grateful for anyone who's happy to join in. All right, guys. So, Ms Tique, can you give us a little bit of a rundown on who you are and what you do, just as a, for anyone who's new watching?
Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining Eileen's live tonight, and thank you, Eileen, for having me. For those of you who don't know me, my psychic name is Ms Tique, and I'm a psychic medium clairvoyant. I'm a direct spirit communicator, which I love. I love connecting with spirit, and the messages I get are extremely clear. I'm also a psychotherapist, a holistic counsellor. I'm a warrior goddess coach. I'm an empowerment person. I do a lot of motivational stuff as well. But we're here tonight because of, it's Eileen's normal night, which happened to fall on Christmas Eve. But, a few of us put our hand up and said, you know what, we need to bring something to you guys for Christmas Eve. We don't want you to, to be sitting around if you're in lockdown. God love you. If you're not, well, then embrace it to the best of your ability. But, I've been psychic since the age of 3, and I just recently turned 60. So I've been doing this a very, very long time. And in my early days, there was a lot of people who used to mock me or bully me or carry on like pork chops about it, because nobody really understood it and everyone was scared of it, including my own family. My father used to think I was possessed by the devil. God rest his soul. He is one of my main spirit guides now, which, I think is just quite extraordinary for someone who didn't believe me for so long. And he's one of my, lovely spirit guides now. So it's been a massive journey. And I did suppress it for a while, only because there was just so much, in the late 70s, early 80s, there was just so much about it that people really believe that you're possessed by the devil. So I chose to kind of shelve it for a little while, and still personally, I always connected with spirit, but I didn't go out into the public and share it as such until probably 15 years ago, where I created the name Ms Tique and thought, you know what, Ms Tique needs to be born. Ms Tique needs to get this word out here. Ms Tique loves connecting with spirit, and Ms Tique is all about, helping as many people as I can. So that's kind of me in a bit of a nutshell.
Awesome. All right. How would you like to get into some readings?
Yes, please. I can see the comments going a bit crazy here. But that's good.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I'm going to be a little bit like Danina as such, where she often says, can the questions be specific? Because we're on a live feed, so you don't have mountains of time to be doing generals. And I hope everybody can takes that the weight intended, because it's with all due respect to everybody. And I do that even on my own. I kind of tell people, if you want to know something, just ask it. Sometimes we're a little bit scared, so generals are a bit all over the shot, and then you may not get the answer that you're hoping to actually hear from or hear something about. So, but anyway, I'm going to jump into Fiona. I just thank you for joining us, Fiona. I just want to say to you, I feel that there's been, and look, not that I want to forget Christmas tonight, but because Christmas is all about you guys embracing us tonight and sharing with Christmas. But I feel like there's just been this extraordinary build-up leading towards Christmas. I feel like your stress factor is overstressed, and again, nothing really to do with COVID. I think there's a few things going on where I want to say to you that you feel like that you're not being heard. You feel like that others are kind of going, do you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, and your ideas or your way of functioning seems to be pushed to the back burner. And I probably want to say to you too, because I'm pretty honest with what I hear from Spirit. It's almost like one of them. There's a couple that seem to be in your face about this, but it seems that one of them is pretty popular about being a bit of a narcissist, and that kind of that's selfishness seems to come through. And I'm not hearing that selfishness is you. I'm hearing that it's somebody else who is projecting that selfishness upon you. And I want to say, you have a really kind and a really big heart, but that heart is kind of getting a bit jammed up with you taking on board what other people are kind of throwing at you. And I have this fabulous saying that everybody has an opinion because everyone's entitled to an opinion. But it's what you do, sweetheart, with that opinion that matters. And that's all that actually matters. So if you're taking that on board and taking it to heart and sitting around maybe, with all due respect, moping about it or getting angry about it, you're wasting your energy. It's a case of, do you know what? If they want to do it a certain way, take a breather. Just kind of say, go for it. Because if their way stuffs up, you're the one that sits back and goes, oh, well, nothing I could have done about it because you didn't want my help. So I want you to kind of take a step back and realize the importance of the role that you normally play. However, for once, just take a bit of a breather and kind of go, do you know what? If everybody else wants to do something, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then they only have themselves to blame, because they cannot come and blame you, although I feel this one probably will. But you can just sit back and ignore that and let all those comments just fly by your shoulder. And I'm hearing that your right shoulder seems to be where you carry some stress and carry some issues, because the minute I was told by Spirit to go like this to let them fly over, they were directing me to something wrong with your right shoulder. So, and I hope that doesn't give you too much trouble over Christmas, sweetheart. So I hope that helps. And thank you for joining. Thank you for allowing me to read.
Awesome.
And there's a lot of people are jumping in.
Yes, it's awesome. All right, let's see. Let's go to YouTube for a second. Gita, okay. What is the outcome of the connection with Puka? Puka. I don't know how to say that.
I would say that's Puka. That would be the way I would pronounce that. What's the connection going to be? Look, I don't know whether you're ready to hear certain things, and I do say things with the greatest of respect, and I'm hearing from Spirit that there's part of this connection has been a bit of a waste of time. Part of this connection is you can I have to say it as I hear it. It's like part of you is doing the chase, but you're not getting that respect in return. So there seems to be a bit of a like a gateway that's not actually having that true connection as such. It's a gateway that seems a little bit apart, and I feel like that you're being told things or promised things that actually aren't even happening. and aren't even close to happening. And I just feel that your heart, especially at this time of year, your heart is probably wanting some more out of the connection. And I believe that there is somebody there for you. I just don't believe that this Picard person is actually the right person for you. And I don't want to sound like the Grinch, but I have to take on board where spirit is directing me. And I'm getting my nan going like this in front of my face. She's shaking her head as if to say, no way, because you're not being respected for you. And it's almost like you would, how do I say, it would be the lesser person in the relationship. So I feel there's some control, where if by chance it was you're by this person's side, that then all of a sudden they become not necessarily a control freak, but you would be guided to do exactly what they want you to do. And I think that goes against the grain of who you really are, because then you can't express your emotions to the way you are. And I just feel that you will just get snowed under, pushed under, so to speak. And the respect for you, I don't feel, is actually there. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news on such a wonderful occasion for Christmas, but I believe in honesty, and I trust what spirit and where spirit directs me. And I just feel that this person doesn't have the right even energy level that you have yourself. And when the energies are off, it's never going to be a perfect connection. It's never going to be a great connection. I shouldn't use the word perfect, because nothing's always perfect, but it's never going to be a great connection if the energy sits offside one another. And I feel that that's offside rather than being side by side. So thank you very much for your question. And I hope you're not too disheartened by that, because there is somebody there for you. There's somebody out there that will respect you for you and respect you for being the beautiful human being that you are. But I don't see the heart as such as your heart growing till about April, May. So that's still a little bit of a way off. But I feel that right now this person is not the one that's going to make your heart pump as such. I don't feel that till April, May next year. So good luck with that. Thank you so much for your question.
Awesome. She says, thank you for being honest.
You're welcome. I'm always honest with what I hear, and what I hear from spirit. As I said, my spirit connection is very, very strong, and I often have my own spirit guides with me, apart from other spirits coming in. And I do apologize to people when I don't have all the loving and the happy news that they may be wishing for, because if I tell you something that's fabricated, that's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. You're going to waste your time on somebody that's not even worthy of you. So it's called honesty and integrity in the line of work that we do.
100%.
Okay, Bobby, my
100%.
nanny-in-law passed last Friday. Does she have any messages for us? Oh, Bobby, I'm very sorry to hear that. I have to say it was a very strained, not strange, but strained, and spirit are calling it an event. So I have to run with that. They're saying it was a pretty strained event. If you're stuck in around COVID, I guess that's maybe where they're directing me with that. However, there seems to have been some people who probably could have come and they didn't, or they were stuck somewhere, and there seems to have been a bit of toing and froing about who was actually going to attend and who wasn't going to attend. But I need to direct you to the YZ1. Okay, so in the flower arrangement, I'm being directed to one particular pinkish flower. It seemed to be a darker pink than any other pink that was in the arrangement, and spirit is sort of saying it was one of her favorite flowers. And somebody knew that. Somebody made sure that there was at least one or a couple of those in the actual arrangement. And I believe someone has also taken those home, and they've been sort of like blooming ever since. So there's an array of flowers. So your nan-in-law, I just want to call her Nan because she's coming through as just Nan. She was a lover of flowers, and I feel that what does she show me? I don't want to say she has a whole backyard of flowers, but she seems to have been very, very good with her hands in the gardening. If somebody couldn't make something grow, Nan-in-law could. So it was almost like, oh, you've killed another plant, well, give it to me and I'll sort it out type thing. So she's very much a green fingered, green thumb, whichever way you want to say that. Very much loving, like, her own surroundings. And it was something that she couldn't control. And I am sort of like, getting drawn to a tightness down the bottom of my esophagus. And I kind of want to say to you, the lower part of her lungs seem to kind of, like a closing up of the lung. So I want to say that's kind of like a pneumonia come something going on there. And whether she actually had pneumonia or caught that towards the end on top of something else, because I am being shown and I feel in the base of my lungs just a bit of a tightening going on there. And I actually want to say to you, Bobby, she thanks you. She thanks you for, I'm getting a bit emotional now too. Connecting to too much with spirit in that sense. It's almost like she wants to hold your hand and lead you on a path, because you've been stuck in making a certain decision, and COVID and a few other things have probably stopped your focus on that decision. She's asking me to hold your hand and guide you into please thinking about this and making that decision in the very first week of January, because that is the time I'm being directed to number 3. So I want to say to you, the 3rd of January, sit down, make that decision, because you have the right decision before. And I don't want to say that this got in the way, but that's how she's saying that this kind of got in the way, where it stopped everything, the process in your mind of what you wanted to do, because you were focused on everything there and making sure that everybody else was okay. She's saying, step back into your life, step back into you, because she wants to hold your hand to guide you in making this important decision on the 3rd of January. So if you can, because that came through so strongly and I felt it so much, can you please let us know what that is and how that actually goes for you after the 3rd of January, because I'd be really interested in that. So thank you, Bobby, for your question, and thank you for asking me to read that and connect. That's beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Whew. See what happens? I get emotional sometimes when I connect with spirit.
You're allowed to.
I know, but
I got someone
sometimes it's not very professional, but Hey, Melanie's here.
Hey!
Hey, she is. God love you.
Hello, beautiful lady.
How you guys going?
Welcome,
Good,
Melanie from Sunflower Me. Now, guys, Melanie had to sort of delay her entry onto the show tonight because she had to relocate because she likes to have reception and not sit in the dark.
Yeah, I do.
It often helps.
I sure do. So my gorgeous friend in Gladstone Park said, come on down, absolutely. And the joys of living on a farm.
There's a lot of pluses as well as a few little minuses there, love. So let's just focus on the pluses of living on a farm.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's just not great if you're needing Wi-Fi 24/7. So that's not a bad thing either. No.
All right. So, guys, we have Melanie. Melanie, do you want to give a little bit of a rundown on who you are and what you do, just for anyone who is new here tonight? Because you've been on a few times. But
I have. It's been an absolute privilege to be on with you, and obviously working alongside Ms Tique tonight, and have done previously before. It's just gorgeous always to work alongside you both again. So what do? I do a mixture of oracle. I've got my rune cards tonight. A little bit of mediumship. Being a registered nurse, I often tap into health and medical aspects for people as well. So yeah, for me, it's just generally what comes through. And I love, while I was listening out the back to Robin, as always, we're always trying to be honest and professional, and nothing wrong with shedding a tear or two. That's what makes us human. And it's always a privilege to be of service and to share our gifts and deliver messages that come through for people.
Well said.
Exactly. Now, can you guys see the comments? I know Robin can.
Yes.
Yeah. Mel, can you see
Look at
the
Mel.
comments?
No.
Nope.
Like, no.
Nope. I fly blind.
Oh dear.
That word.
So tech savvy.
Technological.
Not that tech savvy.
There you are.
Okay, that's okay. I was going to say, if you can see the comments and you see something that jumps out at you, let me know and you go for it.
You know what?
Now you want to
press
see the
the other
comments, don't you?
button.
Hey?
Comments. I just
Can you
learnt
see-
something
can you
new
see
tonight.
now?
It's exciting. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, guys. Yes, I can. Woo. Do you know why? It's because I've always had it on private chat.
Yeah, I was going to say you. That's what I said. You pressed the wrong button.
Just
Oh well.
Awesome. Now that we've got the technology,
Technology.
I promise this is water.
Sure. I agree. Holy waters in.
Sure.
Oh, here
Awesome.
we go. And look, did you see the bottle? Happy Traveller or something. You had the word traveller on your bottle. There you go. See? Traveller. Perfect
Yes.
traveller.
Perfect traveller.
And that's what you had to do tonight. Travel so get internet. Well done to you. Anyway.
All right. So,
But-
guys, those of you watching, if you put in a specific question, it will be better for you to ask the question you want the answer to, because although we are slightly gifted on the panel up here, we'll give you what Spirit gives us.
I love that.
I know, right?
Slightly different.
Yes, slightly. Just slightly gifted.
We just
Slightly.
It's Christmas. We can be
can't help
slightly
it, right?
anything.
There was a question that I did see
I didn't do that.
about paying off a house. Can you give me guidance on my life and if we're okay about paying off our house as we are stressing about it? So Raylene and Darren Taylor. I've just pulled up the, here we go, trying to work it out. The new blueprints, and the answer to that is, look, it will be a bit of a struggle, but don't stress out too much. The finances will be there. I get the sense of somebody's changing jobs and going into a higher higher paying, so that accommodation wise, don't stress. You'll still be able to pay for the roof over your head. You'll just go through this transformation period where it will feel like, oh my gosh, are we going to make ends meet? And the answer is yes, you will. It will just take some time. So try not to panic too much. You are in a transition phase. Somebody is going into a higher paying job. You will be able to pay off the house. And I hope that relieves a little bit of stress and pressure.
Okay. Awesome. Can I touch on Sammy Trugent? That's the one. I saw the cursor go over there myself. Sammy, I noticed that you popped that question up a few times, and I actually want to say to you, the person who keeps sitting on your bed, as much as maybe you are thinking yourself it's a relative, it's actually not a relative. It's somebody that you've known. Excuse me, someone that you've actually known from when you're about 12 or 13. And I feel that this, and it is a gentleman, it's not a lady, it's a gentleman. And I feel that there was a great friendship between you two when you were a lot younger. You're kind of like the, Spirit wants to tell me, you're kind of like the buzz kids of the neighborhood. And that doesn't mean you did anything naughty around the neighborhood. It just means that, you two are just life, and the friendship that you drew from one another, it's like, if I want to say, well, I'm besties with these two, for instance, you were besties with this gentleman, and I actually want to say to you that he was taken too soon from an accident. I'm being directed that it was an accident, and I'm being directed that because of the relationship you had, it's almost like that amazing. Some people can have amazing brother and sister relationships, and then other families, brother and sister or sisters, will just always fight. It's like that you were brother and sister. Just obviously from different parents, because you just gel with one another so well. And he comes by you to virtually just not to annoy you. And I understand that you probably get woken up every time he sits down, because men sometimes have bigger butts than women. Sorry, guys. But you're normally in spirit, you're kind of normally not as dainty as a woman. So in hindsight, sometimes you kind of barrel in thinking, oh, well, no one's going to know because I'm spirit, but we actually do. We hear. I don't know about you guys, but I know I hear male spirits deeper, I guess, and probably a stronger tone to them than what I do females. And so really he's just coming by probably more often than not in the first instance, because you're not getting it, and he's not angry about that. He's just persistent. It's just like, I'm in your face, I'm here again, don't you know it's me type thing, not understanding that you may not be intuitive enough to connect. You're intuitive to feel this spirit, and you're intuitive to wake up and actually know that someone's sitting on your bed. But the deeper you can kind of, if you can get through to some training courses, and I'm going to be doing some stuff next year in spirit guidance and all that sort of stuff, and tuning better into your own intuition. You might need some of that as guidance for yourself, just to understand what you're hearing is absolutely correct, instead of doubting yourself. You're one of these people that kind of, you have abilities, but you don't use them to their expertise. And spirit is kind of saying, I'm here to annoy you so you can understand that, it's here. Okay, do you think it's my partner? He passed this year. I didn't feel that he was a partner as such. I felt that he was more, someone that you've been around for a very long time, and that's coming through to me like your mates as children. So if your partner was your mate when you're a child, and then you've reconnected in your younger teenage years, and then got back together again type thing, then it quite possibly could. He's not actually giving me his name. But if all that resonates with you as to being him, I'm now being directed to a particular watch. So if you have a watch, and I want to say to you really, really precisely, it's kind of stopped at 3:20. I don't know what the 3:20 is. I don't know whether it's 3:20 a.m. or 3:20 p.m. That's when the watch that you have is stopped. If that is your partner's watch, then he's directing me to that watch. So I hope that makes sense. But Sammy, I actually want to say to you, the amount of love that is pouring from this person's heart across to you, to virtually say, I'm here to protect you, but I'm also here to let you know that you're okay. You're okay. You've been through a really tough time, but you're okay. And he's there to guide you. So I really hope that helps, Sammy, and please let me know, and let me know how you go with the watch, because the watch was just thrown at me at last minute and virtually showing me the time that it actually stopped. So I don't know what that 3:20 time is. So if you can clarify that, that'd be wonderful. And yeah, my love to you, Sammy. It's obviously been a bit of a tough road. Whew. Oh, what is this rubbish?
What are you talking about, Rich?
Oh no, something just popped over a Windows update thing just popped over my screen. I went, what is this rubbish? It took up my whole screen. I'm like, what is this? Don't do that to me at this time of the night, please. Anyway, that wasn't directed at you, Sammy. It was a Windows thing. Okay. A watch stopped at that time when he was in hospital. His mum has it, so okay. His mum has the watch, and it stopped at that time. Whew, there you go.
Bless.
This is why
that's why we do what we do.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Thank you for your validation.
It makes a huge get that back from people too.
Well, it does, because there is, and I'm not saying on your feet at all, Eileen, but there are some skeptics in the world that still, want to have a bit of a dig every so often. I brush it off with a grain of salt now, because I know exactly what I do. And to me, when the emotion hits me from spirit, You know, I'm so in the zone with that spirit. And I hear things and I just blurt it out. So, you know, for Sammy to come straight back and say the watch stopped at that exact time and his mum has it, you know, hats off to her for you know, understanding that, you know, we're real. And the reality is
Yeah.
for us that, you know, Melanie, you know, touched it before. Our work with spirit is so genuine, and so we find it so loving, and we feel blessed that we can do that, because it this may have been what Sammy wanted for Christmas. She might have wanted a message from him for Christmas, and therefore her wish has been granted. Do you know what I mean? And in such a
Yes.
personal way that it was only directed at her. And this is just what I love about, you know, spirit, you know, communication. It's awesome. You know, I live and breathe it every day.
Exactly. I got this one earlier from Lorraine. Does Mum forgive me for contesting her will?
Is that for Mel?
The thing I get from that is in the time at the moment, no. As time's gone on, she's softened and kind of understood that as part of you for being able to stand your ground within that family unit as to why you've had to contest that will. Yeah, she's understood that you've had to make a bit of a stand, and for you it's also about reclaiming a little bit of your own power there, Lorraine, is what the sense I'm getting. And it was kind of like I just see this, Mum's just showing me you guys were obviously always at loggerheads growing up, and I just keep getting this, you know, punching kind of sensation going on with the hands. So it was like you obviously backwards and forwards, and it was a real power struggle between you both. So for her, in that moment when you did, no. However, as Mum's progressed within spirit world, she's kind of stepped back and kind of gone, well, chip off the old block, really. You're just as stubborn as Mum. So in the moment at that time, when Mum was alive and post, it was very much that loggerhead kind of moment. As she stepped back and looked and kind of, and what I'm seeing from Mum now is kind of like that patting of the tummy. She was so excited when she was pregnant with you. It's kind of like, this is mine. This is my girl. What she wasn't expecting is how alike you two were going to be. So as a result, sometimes what happens is when you're too alike, both of you, you kind of sort of repel. Is she proud of what you've done and what you've achieved? The answer is yes. Can you have an honest conversation with Mum now that she's in spirit world? Yes. Will she still annoy you? And there's a particular photo she keeps pointing out, and it's, I want to flip through a photo album, and she keeps pointing at a particular photo, and it's one of you when you're little, and it's almost like she wants to put her baby photo next to your baby photo and show me it's like mirror image. Oh, there you go. Yes, you like it. So yeah, basically she's okay now. She understands now, but yeah, at the time it just would have been like growing up.
Fun times. Relationships, hey?
Oh, it is what it is.
All right. Yes. All right. Have you got someone you want to go with?
Oh, I'm yeah, I didn't know I was picking then, but anyway.
Oh, there you go, Lorraine.
Can we go with Melissa Frawley in regards to baby number
Yes.
2? Melissa, I hope you don't like, well, I hope you're not into, you know, fluffy. I have to say it that way, because I'm here to actually say you don't go like this at me, Mel. Don't go like that. Because there's nothing fluffy about me except for my hair. But anyway, even a fluffy on the side of me is the hair, nothing else. Anyway, back to Melissa. And I haven't had a drink either because I don't drink. Back to Melissa. Okay.
We'll have one for you.
Yeah, you do that. Have your vodka come water. Trying for baby number 2. Nothing has happened. Just wondering, do you see it happening anytime soon? This is why I had to come forward and say that I'm not fluffy, because as much as it's wonderful, you're trying too hard. Stop. Give it a breather for a while. That's kind of why I was laughing. So, not that I like to tell people to stop having sex, but it's all about, because that's not very fair. But it's all about, you're trying too hard. Like, you're trying to force the issue, both of you. And I'm probably just want to choke you right now in the sense of shaking you as such. You're both trying too hard. You have both put so much stress upon yourselves to virtually say, this time we're going to fall pregnant. This time we're going to fall pregnant. Oh, no, this time we're going to fall pregnant. It's like that's what you say to one another before you get romantically involved. So I'm going to be the Grinch again to say, stop, sit back, stop trying so hard, but also too, on a medical level, because I study all this stuff as well, because I do sex therapy in counselling. But when you put so much stress on yourself, and I say this with the greatest respect, so there's no, pun in this really, but with the greatest respect, your organs, your internal organs, you're putting so much stress onto them that they tighten up. I mean, if someone overuses their arm is going to hurt. The muscles in your arm, get inflamed and all that sort of stuff. It's the same with your internal organs. So when you're trying too hard, God love you, and I understand why, but when you're trying so hard and putting that stress upon yourself, or if hubby is sort of saying, if he's the one that's saying, oh, tonight we're going to fall pregnant, whichever, that stress is going into you internally, and therefore your organs are virtually tensing right up. And I don't know of any other way of saying it, but the sexual part of it is not going to work, because everything is far too tense. So everything can't be directed in the right direction. That's probably the best way I could actually say that, because we're live on air, so I can't use certain words. So in all honesty, if you didn't stress as much about actually falling pregnant and having number 2, and I understand that you want it close by, the age of your other, then actually just give yourself a break and just sort of say to yourself, do you know what? If it happens, it happens. Because when you take that sort of attitude, everything starts to calm down in your body. So your mind is already in a calm state, because you're not mentally telling yourself, is this time I'm going to fall pregnant? But you're giving a chance then for all your internal organs to also take a breather and to be calm and relaxed. So when that encounter happens, everything works to the best of its ability, because it's allowed to. Your body is then accepting of it being a calm and a loving scenario, that your body then welcomes all that, and your body then will absorb everything. And this is where, number 2 will come along. And, I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can with just that little bit of humor added to it, so it doesn't sound, too bizarre. But it's almost like, give it a, celebrate, how can I celebrate Valentine's Day. From that point forward, if you can get yourself into that different zone of not putting so much pressure on yourself between now and Valentine's Day, then Valentine's Day, I say that your body is ready. And I say that with the greatest respect, my love. And then, number 2 will be on its way shortly thereafter. So I hope you haven't been offended by anything I've said, and I hope anyone else that's watching hasn't been offended either. But this is what happens when you put so much stress on yourself. It works the exact opposite into what you're trying to achieve, and you'll never get to that achieving point because you just keep stressing over it. So it's take a breather, relax, give yourself time to enjoy one another without the stress added to it. Yeah. So let me know how you go, Melissa, because I'd be interested. Thank you for allowing me to. Well, I chose you, so thank you for asking that question. Right up my alley, obviously. Merry Christmas, Melissa. Go and have a Christmas drink now. You can have a drink now.
Hearing you deliver those messages, Robin, to Melissa, all I could hear is that Frozen song, "Let it go, let it go, let it go." So I'm sure Melissa is probably over and above sick of Frozen by now, and she's probably watched it 50 million times. But that's a song that kept popping into my head, and I just wanted to sing. So
she can relax over Christmas, and if she's not having a wine because of wanting to fall pregnant, well then have a wine. Relax over Christmas. Start tonight. Start relaxing the mind and stop putting so much stress on yourself. Sit back and enjoy Christmas for what it is, and just go with the flow from that point forward. But yeah, Valentine's Day. Good night. Just saying.
Hope hubby's around for that one.
Yeah, is hubby listening? Oh well.
He might have Frozen that day.
Well, if he is listening, and he can take it on board too, because
it's all parents are obviously listening tonight.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh well. It's all fun. No.
All right. Who's next?
Who's next? Yes.
I'm actually seeing Annie McCauley. She put a question up: will I have the love of my life entering my life very soon, and will I move up to the coast? So straight away, Annie, the feeling I've got is like you're walking on a tightrope. You're trying to put everything into balance, and to be honest, it's like you're making ends meet bit by bit at the moment. Whereas if you move, they're showing me when you're moving up to the coast, it's not a case of if, it's a case of when, and opportunities will kind of open up for you in order to move up there. That's where you're going to find your work-life balance. And when you are able to have your work-life balance from, home is where the heart is type thing, that is where you potentially are able to open up to love coming in. At the moment, you're too kind of where you're at the moment with work and stuff. So I am seeing there is a move, that work-life balance coming in, not necessarily seeing you close to water, a distance back from water, towards the coast, so more inland, not necessarily water's edge type thing. Cottagey type house that I'm seeing you go into, white. It's like that old white kind of rendered style cottage. And there's a big emphasis on veranda, that kind of big bull-nosed veranda. It's almost like you'll know the house when you see it. Person I am seeing, though, that if you will end up with is sort of comes from a farming background, does work land. Not sure if they're doing park rangering or something now, but does come from a farming background, is who I'm seeing coming in for you. Just seeing if I can kind of get some timing. Seasons are changing, so potentially end of summer going into autumn is what I'm getting there, is moving wise for you. So around that time, it's kind of like that ebb and flow, seasons changing for movement. It'll give you some breathing space.
Nice.
Yeah. Hope that helps, Annie.
Eileen, you've been smiling for a while. Is there something that we don't know?
I think at the same time.
I reckon there's a joke she's not telling us.
And I don't want to sit here all deadpan and be like, see, this doesn't work for me.
I prefer that you don't do that either. I was just asking the question, like in case that was something we need to know or we needed to join in on, because you just have this
you should hear the jokes in my head.
Oh, are people making? I'm not making a joke at you. Not at all.
No.
I want to know what's in her glass, Robin. I reckon there's something in that yellow glass.
She said water. She told me before the show it was water.
I just filled up my glass.
Yeah.
Vodka
and gin look like water too, eh?
I know. See? Yeah.
I didn't buy that yellow.
Yeah.
My husband's boss gave him almost a case of wine for Christmas, so we're set.
Lucky you.
There may or may not have been a bottle of butterscotch schnapps and coffee liqueur in there.
Oh, excuse me. Guess there'll be a party at your house in the morning. Or tonight, whichever.
Yeah, no. The boys get up at 6 o'clock if we're lucky. All right. Have you got someone, Ms Tique?
No, you can choose for me. I'll let you choose.
I have one for you. I just have to find it. There was one I saw about someone wanting to set up a property for rescue animals.
Oh yes, I saw that too. That's what I was reading when I was listening to Mel. Actually.
Yes.
There
you go.
Isn't it wonderful that she wants to set up a place for rescue animals? It's a really wonderful thing. I like how it covers my mouth. I can make all these sort of rude gestures now. No, I can't. I wouldn't do that anyway. I was just saying. Well, it's Christmas. I got to have some fun as well. Look at Eileen. She's like, I love it. She's losing the plot. I can be very serious one moment, and then I'm just off the grid. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way Madeline sat with the Mars and the sun. And what was that noise?
Motorbike.
Okay. Oh, was that you? Oh, okay.
That was a motorbike.
I hope he's a good sort. Anyway, moving on. And oh, look, it's Christmas Eve. Anything is possible tonight, I swear. But as I said, there's a serious side to us, and then we have to have a bit of fun ourselves. It's Christmas Eve, so I'm hoping that you're all bearing with us and joining in on the fun. Now, Angela, I want to get back to you. Like, you want to fix up your house and sell and move to a different property. My question that Spirit is asking me is, do you believe it's the right time? Because of finances, I'm being told it's not. I'm being told that you need to hang on a bit longer, because the money that you're going to use to fix up at the house, yes, you're going to get a higher price in selling it. But I have to say, I don't know where you're tuning in from, but I'm directed by Spirit to virtually say COVID won't give you the money that your house is worth. So I have to be very clear on that. Like, you can spend what you like on fixing it, and it will look fabulous. And in any other day, the market would kind of go, do you know what? She spent 20,000, but that's just escalated at 80,000. But in COVID times, and everybody's struggling, I feel if you spend 20, that someone might only offer you, and like it might only bounce up 1,000 or 2,000 after that. So I'm hearing that what you do to it is going to really improve it. However, I feel that the buyers coming in to be looking at it aren't going to really fly with giving you the money that the house, so-called deserves, if you understand what I mean. So that's obviously why Spirit threw that at me and saying, do you believe that it's the right time? Because if you don't get the money that the house is really valued at, then you don't have all those extra funds to get a bigger property, to have all this land at the back so you can do what you want to do with these animals. And I applaud you for wanting to do what you want with rescue animals, because that is the most kindest and most unselfish thing that someone can do. So I take my hat off to you for doing that and wanting to do something, and that desire to be that person who will be, authentic and have integrity in doing that, because that's who you are. You do everything with an open heart. You do everything for the greater good. So I know where you're headed with it, and I want you to keep that dream alive, because I need you to still go there, because you will. I'm just concerned with money value on the home, that it's not quite the right time to actually be. I mean, you can invest in fixing now if you wish, but the hold is May next year. So I don't see getting a good price for it till the end of April, first 2 weeks of May next year. Now, if you have that time to wait, then I'm asking you to wait for that, because Spirit is directing me that you won't get the right amount of money that it's worth right at this point in time. So, I would hope that you can take that on board and maybe resource it even with the real estates to confirm all that in what it's actually worth and what it could be worth in a different time without COVID, if you know what I mean. But your success in doing it and becoming like, the head person and the owner of it, like an animal rescue facility, is way up there. And you, as I said before, you have the heart and you have the integrity to do it correctly, and you also have a business sense on understanding what needs to be done to actually implement all that as well. So you're not flippant about it, and you thought long and hard about this. So Spirit is kind of saying, go for it, and you'll be very good at it, but later into next year, to give you the right amount of time to be able to put all this together and get the money that your property is worth, and also, have the right amount of funds to buy the better and the bigger property to achieve all this. And you will achieve it. And I see you doing it with bells on, like, no pun intended, but I see it really advancing to something that's going to be, like, quite special. So thank you for asking the question.
She's happy to wait. She's good.
Awesome.
I'm putting this one up for giggles.
She does.
She does.
She has I have this bug.
Well, right?
It's not a spider. I've already confirmed it's not a spider. I had this bug in here earlier, just before we went live, and I said to Eileen, if I jump, at least I know it's not a spider, but I hope I actually got rid of it. But obviously not, because it just run up my leg. But anyway, that's life. But then it's going to run up my leg for Christmas. There's a bug. Dearie me. Anyway, moving on.
All right. What do we see here?
No, at the moment, what I'm seeing is your home is your sanctuary. It's kind of like that's where you feel safe. That's where you're. So no. Short answer is no. That you're not moving anytime soon. Having said that, there will be an event in life that happens. It's kind of like a little blessing there. So I'm not sure if you're preparing to add to the family, but I am seeing a potential addition coming through where you're needing to actually expand because you're needing more rooms within your house. So whether it's family coming to live with you or you're having another child, I am just seeing your home is getting to that point where you will have others come into that home where you will need the space. So at the moment, no, your home is your sanctuary, but down the track, perspective wise, you will be needing to look for something else, but in the interim, no. And when I'm saying down the track, I am seeing sort of that 6-12 months down the track. I'm not seeing that in the immediate future for you. Hope that kind of helps.
There's Eileen's resting smiling face. have that in my head all night now. I like that. We're a cracker. I know. We can make ourselves laugh. We could probably do an offshoot. We could probably do a spirit platform show and be comedians at the same time. Like, wouldn't that be a bonus? Wouldn't that be a bonus?
Comedians.
We could go over on the right hand side and do mediumship stuff, and then come over on the left hand side and be comedian.
You know what
Just
it
do
is?
both at the same time.
It's because we fully commit to ourselves. That's why we are open and fully committing to ourselves. We're being ourselves. We're being uniquely us.
And we make no apologies for that right now. Or anytime.
None whatsoever. None.
No. I'm
Do you know
hoping that
start just
everybody.
this?
We're what? Sorry.
This is what happens when you start accepting. When you start accepting yourself where you're at, you start to feel more comfortable, and that's what everyone should be doing.
Absolutely, and I have to be perfectly honest. I mean, for those who know me from Psychic TV, I could have, if I chose to do the opposite to what you just said, Eileen. I've accepted me as I am since I was a child. Like, I was always loud. I was always the life of the party, and people thought I was drunk when I was even young, and always a bit of a comedian. But I see everything, like, you know, in different. But in hindsight, when I got the offer to do Psychic TV, and most psychics actually had to apply for Psychic TV, and I got an out like years ago. I got an offer, and I was that excited because I've been, you know, watching the show for ages and still going off and doing my own psychic stuff anyway. But for Mal to ring me and actually, you know, track me down and offer it to me, I was really impressed. So I came home, and my son was still living at home at the time, and I said, "Guess what? Guess what?" And I told him, and he went, "It's exactly what he did." I don't know. Well, he's a bloke. Maybe he doesn't get it yet. Maybe he doesn't quite understand. And then I rang my mum because she was already coming around for a cup of tea that afternoon. I said, "Oh, do you want to come around earlier?" I said, "I've got something to tell you." And she goes, "Oh, good or bad?" I said, "Oh, no, it's good." So she came around, had a cup of tea. She said, "What's the news?" So I told her that I got the invite to come on board, like, full time for Psychic TV. And she looked at me and she said, "You can't do that." I said, "What do you mean I can't do that?" "Yes, I can." I said, "I know it's in the middle of the night, but I can do it. Why can't I do that? Nathan's 20 now." Well, now he's 29, but he was 20 at the time. And I said, "He doesn't need me at home. Why can't I do that?" And she just looked at me and she said, "Because you're too fat for TV." How's that for unconditional love? Perfect. And I just looked at her, and here's the comedian in me, because I looked at her and I said, "Really?" I said, "Oh, I didn't know I was going on TV to sell exercise equipment." So that's what I came out with. And then she thought I was just being a smart ass and told me I was an idiot. But in hindsight, this is a message for all of you women out there. Like, don't let anyone tell you what you should be or you shouldn't be or whatever. What Eileen said earlier, full acceptance of yourself and loving yourself for who you are. Psychic TV wanted me for my abilities, not because of what size I am. I wasn't on there to sell a sexy bra, for God's sake. You know, I was chosen for my abilities, and that's why they wanted me. And who cares what I look like on TV, because I'm delivering like what we're delivering tonight, messages from spirit for every viewer. So I was really floored. Now, I could have gone on that first show and sat there when the cameras went on, and I could have had her voice in my head saying that. Chose to disregard it straight away and not give it a second thought, because I just thought, how dare you judge anyone like that? So, you know.
And look, sometimes we can be our biggest blocking, Erin, but that also comes from what has been conditioned to us growing up. And, you know, like Robin, I've certainly had an interesting background. I mean, my 16th birthday present from my dad: "Only married your mother to give you a name." So wow. Where's your worth? And you know what? I am who I am, and I make no apologies for that. I make no apologies for being my own biggest advocate, as well as, you know, in the nursing sphere, I'm my patient's biggest advocate. God gave me a mouth, and damn it, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for good, and I'm going to be loud and proud about that. So I would say to yourself, Erin, get out of your own way. Look in the mirror and go, damn, you're a sexy, beautiful woman. Get out of your own way. Get out of that program stuff. And I would say sometimes we do have to fake it till we make it. And I have certainly given people that I love and people that I know, or even clients, the task of saying, you know what, get coloured sticky notes and put them on your bathroom mirror if that's where you're going to brush your teeth in the morning. If you go out and you make yourself a coffee, then along your windowsill where your jug is, you put the inspirational notes so that you're actually changing your own mindset by the positive affirmations that you're seeing, reading around the house. And before you know it, you're actually reading them out loud to yourself. So therefore, you're hearing that positivity to yourself. Before you know it, you're looking in the mirror and going, damn, I look pretty good today.
But also, too, Erin, I want to just add there, too, that sometimes, Mel, you were touching on it, that it can be what's instilled in the person as a child. You know, like I was the only person in 4th class, though I hadn't even turned 10, you know, wearing a bra. And, you know, everybody was going to sit in the classroom and pull the bloody back of the bra, and it drove me crazy. But then I kind of went, well, you know, how stupid and idiotic are you lot? Like, how childish are you lot? And I can't help it if I develop my boobs early, like, God forbid. But Erin, there's also a you know, if you're interested, also just touching on what Mel said about, you know, loving yourself who you are, because you know you are a genuine person, and you know you radiate certain energies out, even just from the photo that you've got up on the, you know, as you in the side of you that I can see, is sometimes if it's instilled in us, the negative from a very young age, sometimes that's hard to get out of. So sometimes, as much as what Mel is saying is 100% correct with the sticky notes and repeating all those things to yourself, sometimes it's one of my specialties that past incidents can become a trauma. And people might just call that baggage. And I don't call that baggage, because, you know, in everything I've studied over the years, that past trauma sits in the bottom of your gut, and you'll have little triggers throughout your life. So if you're, say, age 25 today, and someone said something about, oh, you're putting on a bit of weight, you know, with COVID, that could be a simple trigger. And it triggers that someone didn't accept you for who you were when you were younger. That's going to trigger a whole lot of pain and a whole lot of questions around your self-worth and your self-esteem. So therefore, we need to get rid of where the triggers are coming from. So I do this whole healing program with uplifting and uprooting all those traumas, you know, as I call them, that have happened from childhood to now. And I can help you get rid of those. And the tattoo that I have on my arm is acknowledge, accept, release. Because if we can acknowledge that the past is the past and we can't change the past, but we accept that we played no part in that happening to us, it is far easier and far greater for us to release it. And we become the best versions of ourselves. And this is part of, you know, more programs that I'm introducing next year to enable everybody to understand where they really stand themselves in this world. We are all unique. We all bring something different to the table, but it's how we can do that with confidence, how we can deliver ourselves with confidence when somebody has made us feel like shit. So it's all about embracing. I mean, I talk about the inner warrior quite often, which some people equate to that as their inner child. It's all about igniting that person inside yourself to understand that you didn't create some of these bad things that have happened to you. Others have instilled it in you, like Mel was saying. So it's about owning. It still comes back to owning who you are, understanding and knowing that you're a good person and you're on this planet for a reason. And henceforth, you can grow from that. Everybody can grow from that. Everybody can be more confident with who they are. And then you end up being, like, you know, a force to be reckoned with. It doesn't make you arrogant. It's got nothing to do about, you know, having an ego or anything like that. It doesn't make you anything like that. It's just you understanding your own self-worth and your own self-value. And that's, you know, it's a beautiful thing for you to, you know, even want to go down that path if you choose to. Happy to facilitate Eileen, even if you wanted to do, and more, even if you wanted to do, seminars or something together, happy to do that.
Would love that.
Because this is something that I'm quite passionate about, and first-hand experience from being bullied from the age of 3, and I still have a very narcissistic family who still want to do that to me today. It happens. It's happened all my life, but I could have chosen to go and sit under a rock and never to be heard from again. Well, I said, stuff that. I know who I am, and I'm proud of who I am and what I can deliver. And everybody on this planet needs an opportunity to be able to, and it's, as I said, it's not about me having an ego at all, because I can be, very different. But when I am empowering people to be the best versions of them, this is where my passion just flies through. Because I've seen people belittled. I've seen people commit suicide because someone just wants to instill this crap in their mind. And it's just not on. It's just not on. So sorry for the lecture. But
Robin, as you were talking, I was just reading some of the comments that were coming up, and I'm so pleased that this has hit a chord for not just yourself, Erin, but for other people. And I'm sorry, but my head's going to go above my camera for a minute, and it's more about those people that were going, but how do I empower myself because I'm a plus size person? Well, guess what, sweet? So am I. And do you know what? I don't care. I am who I am, and I love the body that I've been given, and so should you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm the same.
Yeah.
And that's why when my mother said you're too fat for TV, I just went, oh well, they don't want me to sell exercise equipment. Like the stupidity of her comment, up front, but because it come from a parent, some people might have thought, well, if that's if that's what my own mother thinks of me, then everybody's going to think that. And if I really believe that, the beach is down the road for me. Does that mean I go down there and go, oh, everybody's looking at me and I'm so fat, oh, I better not do anything? Like, seriously, guys, everybody goes to the beach to enjoy themselves. They're not going to, there'll be the few idiots that might stand there and go, oh, she's a bit big, but who cares? I pay my own council rates. I deserve to be on that beach. The beach is just, I deserve to be there. I don't have to be a size 8 for sitting with going to the beach. So I'm proud to be, a plus size person too, and the crystal caftans that I wear in everything that I do, Ms Tique, where it's it's always now become my uniform. A few times on Psychic TV, I mentioned 2 companies, and 10 years later, they're still sending me caftans. Why? Because I wear them so well. And if I wanted to hide, they're all very colourful, they're all very bling, and I don't hide anywhere. You know what I mean? And this is, if we can help, I know we've got to get back to reading, but if we can help any of your, Eileen, any of your viewers tonight to get on this path of, and if you feel like you can't do self-empowerment for yourself, then get in contact with us. We're happy to teach you. I have degrees in counselling and psychotherapy, all this sort of stuff, and I'm happy to help where I can. It's because I can't walk past someone on the street when they're walking with their head down and not even a smile on their face. Yes, COVID is upsetting a few people, and a lot of people that lost their jobs, but there's COVID has also helped the universe fall back in love with itself again, because flowers are more brighter. The green leaves on trees are greener than they've ever been before. The skies are clearer. The ocean is clearer. Stop and smell the roses. And if you need if you're a stranger walking the street, smile at someone else. It may be an introduction that you're missing if you're walking with your head down.
And just on that, COVID has brought back some really good things. In my work as a nurse, one of the things I do is a lot of health coaching and chronic disease management, and the empowerment of looking after one's health from that perspective. in a lot of families, I'd say, you know, hey, how are you going? In regards to here in Victoria in particular, we've had a lot of homeschooling, long, extensive lockdowns. So certainly feeling for the people up in the northern beaches in and around where you are, Ms Tique. I can certainly feel and understand that. Eileen, you're currently experiencing the same thing at the moment. But a lot of families have also said, you know what, it's made us come together more as a family unit and suddenly realise that our work-life balance and our family balance was out of balance, and now we've gained that back again. And I actually now understand my kids more, and I've realised that I hadn't encouraged their imagination and creativity, and you know, some dads really got creative along with some mums, that's for sure. So that was pretty cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year for everybody.
Yes.
Mm.
All right.
All
right,
Do you want to do some
Eileen, I reckon
readings?
you find us some
We
readings,
interrupt
my
you.
love. Let's see what messages we can give to people.
Yeah, we kind of went into a huge D&M there, but that's okay. I'm sure people
It
will
happens on my
appreciate
feed all the time. I become really ranty at times, and I apologize for them. But I think Erin, one of the times I went, I'm so sorry, I went off on a tangent. I did my ranty thing. And she actually said last week in a comment, Eileen, some of your best messages come when you're ranting. I'm like, well, it's not my message. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason why Erin was chosen tonight. There's a reason why, you know, Mel was responding, and there's a reason why I got on the bandwagon, because there's obviously possibly. I mean, Eileen, you know your viewers more, you know, better than what I do, and there's obviously a call for more than just Erin to hear that message tonight.
Yeah, and reading some of those comments, there certainly was. So
okay,
yeah,
I haven't been reading any. Sorry, I was too busy ranting. Anyway.
Yes, this is a ranty page. It's apparently it's contagious.
Oh, well, thanks for that. At least it's not COVID. I'm happy with that.
All right. Do you have someone you want to read for, or
no? You be.
Do you want
I don't know who you're talking to, but you choose. You're in charge.
Yeah.
What? Me? Oh, me.
Oh, Leanne. Interesting comment. Okay. What have you got, Mel?
So straight away, I just instantly went for Beyond Lemuria cards. So Mount Shasta come out. So there's going to be a lot of do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So your brother's going to get conflicting information there about which avenue he should take, and a lot of people are going, oh no, but this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me. Can you just tell him to block it all out? Because they're not him, and this is not he's not doing their journey. So first and foremost, what I would say to your brother is, while everybody else's experience are good and fine, they're not your experience, and it's not, this is your journey. So please bear that in mind. What's worked for others may not apply to your case, and so therefore is not necessarily valid and relevant. While there will be similarities, it is not the same. So I think that is one of the biggest important things to give your brother that message, when maybe he's listening tonight, who knows. He will also, the other thing that I'm getting there is he may feel that he's going round and round in circles and will want to give up at 3 to 4 points throughout this journey. Will it be an easy journey? No, there's about 3 or 4 points that he will want to give up and feel like he is going round and round in circles. It's at those points that he's going to need the most family support and guidance to say, don't give up. I am seeing that he will probably, there is a possibility that he will have to do counselling and parenting courses, anger management courses. He's being made out to be somebody that he's not. He is being made to jump through hoops, and I'm being shown it's a gender-based thing, not because of who he is and what he's done, because what I'm being shown is he's not what they're making him out to be. And he's going to question his own, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? It's all too hard. Will he get there in the end? Yes. But it will be a long, hard journey.
Can I just add something in there, Mel? I was seeing that when you were saying that he's being portrayed as something that he's not, I was getting the same thing, but I was also getting that he in the court system he's actually offered supervised access, and he kind of shows, because it's emotional, and he's not who they're making out to be, that he then gets quite emotional and angry and kind of refutes that. And I wanted to jump in and kind of say, don't just go along with it, because that will give you the access that you're desiring, and they will see you for who you are, and then all of a sudden they'll be unsupervised access, so you'll get where you're going in the end. It's not very nice to be told, oh, well, you like that, so we need to give you supervised access. If you show that emotion and that anger, they're going to go, oh, well, he is displaying what they're saying, so don't display that. Just kind of go, do you know what? I'm happy with that because I get to see my children. And it's that simple.
Yeah. He essentially needs a photo of him and his kids, the last photo, and that needs to be the reminder and the main focus. And it's just like, mate, hold it together. You will get there, but we are seeing it will be a bit of a road.
Yeah.
Hope that helps from Leanne.
Awesome. This one caught my eye.
Can I please have a message? I had a dream about my ex giving me salt for protection. Well, do you need protection from who? Is there something more important pressing here? Because if you had that dream, obviously your ex is in your thought process and embedded into your subconscious to be actually having the dream in the first place, or for the energy from her, still being valid and clear in your memory banks. Giving you salt for protection. Is salt really a protector? Do we throw salt over our shoulders and in case of bad luck? Some of us do. Now, I don't know if you want to jump in that one, because I don't feel that there's anything in that dream. I'm not hearing from spirit that there's anything that he has to be concerned about or worried about. To me, and with all due respect, Craig, to me it is just a dream, and I don't mean to say it in that way, but there's nothing that I'm getting from spirit that's underlying about her giving you salt for protection. I'm not feeling that you need protecting from anything or anyone in particular. I feel that there's still a bit of what I would call like ants and question marks as opposed to why you are apart. But having you kind of needing protection, I don't feel that, and I don't even feel that you guys have even spoken about getting back together. I mean, she is still an ex. I just wasn't getting anything from spirit that the dream meant anything as such. I was just being told it was just a dream. Mel?
Oh, I got to unmute her. Hang on.
I got muted. What I'm seeing there, Craig, is that the aspect of giving you salt, it's like rubbing salt into the wounds. Because I am seeing that there was a life together. You were relatively close at one point. You were like the provider, the protector. It's kind of like two babies. The aspect of giving the salt to you in the dream is more about rubbing salt into your wounds. There is a potential that there's a partner in the background that you're not knowing about yet. So that's going to hurt when you do find out that she is seeing somebody else, and potentially a conversation about, you know, what role this person will play in your children's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the dream is also too about his thought processes on, you know, where he's now saying that he's a bit scared, like the thought processes of, you know, how are we going to bring up the child together, like, you know, because we are a bit of chalk and cheese now. We are apart, and the communication lines to me don't seem very, you know, very on path, is what I want to say. So I guess he's probably, in a way, Craig, you know, you can confirm if you like, or you know, I think you're worried that you will not see your child as often as you want, or there may be a lack of communication on, you know, how often you can and how often you can't. And I wonder, with what Mel's saying, whether this other person, whether you feel like, you know, when that all comes out to play, whether you feel that person then takes on your role. And I feel that no, as long as your voice is constant in being heard, and not your voice being raised, not your but your voice constantly having proper communications and not getting angry about the scenario, because the child welfare is the most important. So regardless what each one of you do in your lives from this point forward, the child is the most important. So if you're going to keep having open communication, without being angry, whether she has someone else in her life or is, you know, gain someone else in your life, because you may gain someone in your life, you know, at one point as well. So you can't be angry at her and expect her not to be angry at you. If that, you know, we don't want to play those sorts of games. Yes, it's upsetting, but you two as a couple aren't working. Yes, you created a wonderful child. So every conversation is about the best that you both can do for that loving child. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
my input.
Yeah. Your input.
Good eye.
Good for you.
Interesting.
Hey, good on you.
I'm just here with my resting smiley face.
Here's this one.
We hope that helps anyway, Craig. We do hope that does help.
Okay, so I can just see he's popped down the bottom, but she's married, so she's obviously already remarried. So you've seen the other person was already there. But Craig, the bit, but don't want. What is he saying? But don't want me to move on. Craig, she can't have it both ways. If she's remarried, then even if she doesn't want you to move on, you're in control of this. You know, this is about, you know, we were talking about empowerment earlier. You know, men aren't excluded from this empowering, you know, talk that we had earlier, because she's moved on. Clearly, if she's married to someone else, you can do what you want to do. Nobody can tell you what you can and cannot do, as long as you're still being the loving dad to your child, like to your son. Then nothing else matters. Nothing else should matter to her. And if they do, then she has an issue with her own insecurities, not you. You can start living your life as being you. You can still do two different. You're the best dad, and you can do what you want with what you want to do in life. Don't let anyone hold you back, sweetheart. No, not at all. Another round.
Can I just say, folks, those that are listening and what have you, your kids aren't pawns. Your kids aren't pawns in a game.
No.
You can still co-parent.
Yep.
But also control what you can control. You can't control her. You can't control her actions. You can't control what she says or what she does. You can control yours. You can control how you bring that baby up. So focus on that. Focus on the love.
Yeah.
Correct. Will she take me to court? Craig, I want to jump in and just say no. What for? There's nothing in the limelight that I'm hearing from Spirit that you need to go to court for. You already have access to your child. There's nothing that you've done wrong that would create her being an applicant to put anything into court. I don't see anything going to court, my sweet. So I'm not sure why you'd be worried about that. But as long as you're communicating correctly, openly, and not with anger. The minute you bring anger into it and the emotion, she can accuse you of something else, like we had in that past client, that the brother was being, portrayed as a different person. Don't allow her to portray you in a different way. Always stay calm. Always try to remove the emotion out of it, because you're doing what you want to do and having some access to the son. You haven't done anything wrong, my sweet. So I don't see that progressing.
What I am getting is the ex is actually acting on past generational behavioural stuff. So I'm not sure if she's come from a broken home, who's come from a broken home. I'm seeing that intergenerational. This is how we grew up, so this is the norm. This is how we grew up, so this is the norm, and it's just being passed on. So a lot of her words that are coming out of her mouth towards you is essentially what she heard her mother say to her father, unfortunately.
Okay.
Olivia, a message from a past loved one. A little silent there, aren't we? Like,
well, you started, so I thought I'll wait for you.
Yeah, I was just moving from Craig and kind of going, Olivia's comments been up on the screen. All right.
Eileen was enjoying my facial expression.
So the person I'm seeing right at this point in time, she's got this beautiful, rounded, very slimming in the jawline, long dark hair. Bit of a wild child previous, particularly in the 60s. She also passed over in her late 60s, didn't quite make her 70th birthday is what I'm seeing. Had a pretty potty mouth. She come out with some pretty interesting things, and didn't care who was listening, who heard it. Pretty crafty, because I want to get out the needle and thread and start doing needlework. So pretty crafty in that sense. Not getting a name anywhere at the moment, Olivia, but that is who's coming around you at the moment. She keeps showing me this dome-shaped tent thing. It's like you used to play hide and seek in this dome-shaped. It's like a tent. She's showing me they're like tunnel houses. So there was obviously property that she was on, because these are like tunnel houses, so a lot of plants, but it's almost like as kids you guys used to go in and play. You guys would be running up and down aisles as really little kids. I'm just seeing little kids running up and down these aisles.
Do you see the kids as a boy with Olivia?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think he's in spirit too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Yeah.
at the minute
He was very much running up and down.
yeah.
Yeah.
The minute you said that, I saw them as two kids like skipping in and out of places, even though you know, he's a boy. I just saw this fun loving skipping attitude. Like
Yeah,
great brother and
two kids definitely
yeah.
hand in hand.
Yeah, brother and sister, like, you know, and what we touched on is someone else's, where there can be brother and sister that are loving with one another the whole time, and then the, you know, people are drawn apart. But I see these two as being the loving ones together and wanting to share different things. And but I feel though that he passed quite young, and I also feel that he wasn't supposed to pass, is what I'm getting. So if I'm being told by spirit he wasn't supposed to pass, that would lead me to an accident as such. But I feel that his heart breaks for Olivia. I'm being directed to Olivia, and please, Olivia, I say everything with the greatest respect, that you are sitting there blaming yourself. I feel a great sense of overbearing guilt, that you're blaming yourself for the scenarios or the situation that happened. But he's here virtually saying, and I've got so many goosebumps running right up and down my spine, which I want to say that I think his spine was damaged as well, because he seems to be going right for my spine in a sense that, you know, you didn't play a part in what happened to him. And the need for you to think at this point that you did is an automatic guilt feeling, because you were so close as younger children, and you were brother and sister, like having fun and games. But I also just saw that you say here that you didn't think this is for me. I don't know whether that was the woman, or whether it's me talking about your brother. If you can clarify that, because I'm getting that it's the brother that's coming through, being the loving person that he is, and this guilt feeling that you've got, where I'm actually a little bit concerned about how guilty you feel. Because I'm being directed from spirit that there's no way on this planet that you're guilty for anything. And I think that there's a lot of times, and I want to say to you, I'm not sure if an anniversary is coming up for you in the early part of January. There seems to be an anniversary or a special occasion coming up for you, that I think surrounds his passing. But I don't want you to be somber about it, because I'm being instructed to tell you to embrace it. Not that I'm saying to go out and have a party and a shindig over it, but it's more about embrace who he was, embrace the good times that you had. You know, there's by him kind of saying, don't sit there and mope about me, he wants you to embrace life. He doesn't want you to sit here and be guilty or to blame yourself for certain things, because, you know, he's virtually yelling at me saying you had nothing to do with it. You played no part in this whatsoever. He wants you to, you know, if you can't get rid of the guilt yourself, you know, he'd like you to get help on that, because he's saying that it's impossible that you had anything to do with it. And I need to reiterate that as many times as I can, because he's showing me that his heart breaks for you feeling that way. So, you know, I would ask you that, you know, possibly if you need to talk further on it, then please, you know, please connect and do so. He's saying that you need to live your life. He's talking about basketball. He's talking about like a ball, that like a playing basketball, and virtually like a few times, I think either one of you, or I think it's maybe you being silly with him, like pushing him in the goalpost and stuff like that, and you thinking that, you know, it was funny for him to be off balance. I don't know if that off balance thing has something to do with his accident, but if that is a trigger for you, then you need to work on that, because he's saying, please embrace me for the happy person that I am. You know, he's happy in spirit world, but he gets sad when he comes by you, and, you know, he feels that you feel this guilt. because he's an extremely happy man in spirit world, and he's embracing that all he can run around and do, and he can be mischievous if he wants to, and he can be very calming like he is coming through, but he's pointing the finger and virtually saying, just stop it, because he wants you to move past this, because if you move past it, you will be able to embrace him more, is what he's saying. So I kind of need to reiterate that for you, and I really hope that you can take that on board. As I said, if you need help with something, as I feel I have no signs from him that he's around. Do you know why? I didn't even finish reading the sentence. The reason why you don't feel him, because he's around you all the time, is because you're carrying that guilt. While you're carrying the guilt, you block all your pathways. And when your pathways are blocked, you're never going to feel him, and nor are you going to pick up on any good energy on anyone that's even in the living room, because you're blocking yourself to certain things. You're blocking yourself to emotion because you seem to feel so, drawn to being guilty. That's why you're sad. You have blame, you have guilt, and you're sad that he's gone. So you've got this combination that's just attacked you all in one go. But it's up to you to realize and understand that you played no part in that happening to him. Yes, he went too soon. I get it and I understand it, and I understand why you're sad. But if he's coming through telling you to stop being so sad, then he wants to connect. And when you unblock yourself, you will feel him, you will hear him, and you'll end up being, so much at ease with his spirit around. So as I said, Olivia, if you need help, just give me a shout out. In hindsight, once you can go through that and embrace him, you'll hear him quite often, because he is quite a joker. I have to say he's quite a joker. And yeah, loving life. And if he was in this realm, he'd be loving life today anyway. So he is who he is. And a word that we've been, or a sentence that we've been saying all night, he makes no apologies for that either. So I hope that helps, Olivia, and yeah, just let us know.
Awesome. Take your pick. Who wants it?
I don't know. Oh, do you want it, or Mel? When Mel has that contemplating look, I just sit back, because I know she's in the zone.
Yeah, yes. Look, I'm not seeing you moving overseas. I'm seeing you staying in homeland. Travel, yes, for holidays and what have you, when we're allowed to, and borders actually open. But yeah, I'm seeing you stay in homeland. I'm not seeing you moving overseas. What's in store? It's kind of like you're in this rut at the moment, and you're kind of feeling like, oh well, everything's feeling same old, same old. It's about changing your perspective on the way that you're looking at same old, same old. Same old, same old can actually be quite nurturing and exciting, and you can actually change it up. It's a case of when you're floating through life, you're not actually planting roots, grounding down, so that you actually are able to understand what opportunities are being presented to you. So often as we drift through life and as we float, we don't have that connection to being able to see the opportunities passing us by and going, yes, I actually want to jump on board with that. Because we're floating and opportunities are floating, we're not actually grounding down and going, well, how will this work? How will this see? So as a result, you're probably feeling like, oh, but I'm just trudging through life. I'm just doing the same old, same old. What I'm seeing for you is a bit of meditation processes. Sandra, to me, this feels like home to you. So I'm seeing homeland, like this is home. I'm not seeing you traveling and living elsewhere. I'm seeing here. I am seeing ceremony, so I'm not sure whether or not you've done your Australian citizenship, but I am seeing ceremonies, papers. So here is home that I'm feeling.
Then we have a bit of a delay on Mel's, don't we?
Yeah, a little bit. Ah, there we go. Mel's gone into slow mo.
Yeah.
I am seeing there is a potential changing of states, however, and where I'm seeing is more up towards the Kimberleys.
She looks a bit shell-shocked, doesn't she?
She does that once. We should just screenshot this one.
Yeah, yes, you do that. Screenshot it. That would be awesome. Sorry, Mel. But yes, screenshot it. Oh, did you get it?
No.
Oh, bugger.
I'll get that one.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Oh, she's moving. Where's she going?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Mel, what are you doing? Okay. That's a nice arm.
I am seeing.
Going for a new location. She's coming back, Sandra. Well, maybe she's not. We don't know.
Maybe
she's going to do the black round. Maybe.
Oh well. Maybe where she maybe wherever she went to, they had a bad internet connection as well.
Yeah, it can happen. Look where I live.
I don't even know what suburb you live in.
I'm out Campbelltown way.
Oh my goodness.
I'm out in the sticks of Sydney.
Well, you're safe from lockdown. That's a good thing.
Well, this is true. This is true. But I I'm one of those people that doesn't mind being in some level of lockdown because I'm a homebody.
I know, I'm like that too. Like,
yeah.
Everyone goes, "Oh, you coping?" I'm like, yeah. No problem.
I'm in my element because I do all my work online.
Well, I was actually supposed
Except yesterday. Yesterday I did a reading for the next door neighbour.
You did a reading for what, sorry?
The next door neighbour.
Oh, okay. Bargain.
He came and knocked on the door.
Really?
Hey. Yeah, I've got stickers on my car. And so he's driven past, seen the sticker on my car. He's sent me a message on Facebook, and then he's come, knock, knock, knock. Hey, when are you available to do a reading? I went, 3 o'clock?
That's a bonus.
It was very convenient.
Obviously.
Awesome.
I don't try. So I have like a big poster, like in my window. It says who I am, and I wonder why when I go down the street, people say, "Oh, are you Ms Tique?" I go, "Oh, how do you know that?" I've seen the post on your unit. And I go, "Oh, okay." Self-advertising.
Awesome. Well, at least you know it works.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Julie. Hello, Julie. Where do I know that name from? Julie Devlin. Maybe she watches mine as well. I don't know, but I know the name from somewhere.
Maybe.
Anything from your dad? If
Her
anyone's
battery
interested,
died on the laptop.
oh, sorry, what?
Melanie's the battery died on her laptop.
Oh, did she forget to plug it in?
That's something I would do.
Wow. Okay. Plug it in, Mel, and see how it goes. I was going to say before I got to Julie's message, if I may, Eileen, if anyone is still interested in hearing myself after Eileen's show, my show will be live from 10:30 onwards over on my Mystical Mystique live TV page. So, oh look, she's coming back by the look of it. Anyone wants to, I've got prizes, I've got giveaways, I've got all sorts of things going on because I set up a Christmas show virtually the same day that Eileen wanted to ask me to do her Christmas show. So it actually worked out quite well. And I said, oh yes, I'll just go along. It's okay. It's all good. So if anyone wants to, after, I'm not stealing any of Eileen's clients, by the way. We work in the same industry, but if anyone wants to jump over to mine at 10:30, then you're welcome to, because I'll go through to probably about.
I don't see you just stealing my clients, though.
No, I said I wasn't stealing your clients.
No, I know, but that's not how I see it.
I know. I was
it's
just
not
reiterating
stealing.
that.
We share.
I was just reiterating that, just in case any of your viewers thought that that's what I was trying to do. But some of your viewers may not know me, and they may not know how closely we work. So that's why I was reiterating that, my love, not anything to do with you. Welcome back, Melanie. We had a black screen for a while.
Sorry.
Anyway, that's okay. That's okay. We're just talking about plugging.
I'm just putting a link to the page in the thing.
Okay, Julie, I want to get back to you with your dad. I'm hearing here that excuse me. I'm hearing that the last probably 2 to 3 months of your year in your career has taken a dive, so I hear, and I feel that there's some built up, like built up anger, built up resentment, as in you're doing everything correctly, you're doing your role correctly, but there seems to, for whatever reason, there seems to be that you're not satisfied in the work scenario. And I do have a gentleman here that I have to say to you presents himself, he's not wearing a war uniform, but he seems to present himself as if he served his country. But as I said, he's not wearing a war or an army or a navy uniform as such, but he's presenting himself in a manner to me because he saluted me as he came in. So when he salutes me, then I have to go with the military of some sort, because I'm not anyone to be saluted at, so it can't be that. So you know, spirit works in wonderful ways. So if that resonates with you, you know, then that's confirming that I, you know, have who I have here. But he's the one that is telling me that. And I want to try and clean it up a bit, because Dad's got a bit of a way of saying things that he doesn't pussyfoot around either. But he's virtually saying that you kind of need to have this yucky part going on with your work to kick you up the bum to realise that there's something better that you can move forward to. Because without a little kick up the backside, you apparently won't move on, because you see the good in everybody all the time, and you just keep saying, oh no, it's just a rough patch, you know, they'll see what I'm doing shortly and they'll do something about it, and all this sort of stuff. So you give everybody the benefit of the doubt, which is a nice factor to have, but it's kind of old now. So you've given this person and the role in this company, you've given them the benefit of the doubt too many times, you're saying. And when you give it too many times, then people take advantage of you. And I feel that this is what's happening, and you're kind of a little bit upset, angry, with, you know, whatever words you want to use with that. But you can fix that yourself. You can fix that by coming back to valuing what you're giving and thinking, well, do you know what? If that's the way it is, and I'm not progressing any further and I'm doing more than what I should. And geez, I work hard because I work through my lunch breaks. Well, do you know what? These days, no one gives a damn if you work through your lunch breaks because you're not getting paid for that. So the company gets off scot-free. They're not asking you to do it. And if you feel that you have to work through your lunch break to get the work done, they don't think any better of you. They kind of think, oh, well, more for that person because they're not getting paid for that. So I'll just allow them to do that. So Dad is saying that you need, he's a person that if he was around, you would go straight to him for advice. And it's almost like, as a child, you sat at his feet. I say this with respect. It's like you sat at his feet and he read you stories and you always looked up to him in like a child in a dad way because he always had this story to tell you. And he would have a story to tell you now about the role that you're playing with your employer. And he's virtually saying, stop all that. That person doesn't have the correct amount of respect for you. They're not respecting what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table because they don't care that you work through lunch break, or if you're supposed to finish at 5, you might still be there at 5:30 and you're saying to yourself, well, if I finish it now, then I don't have to do it tomorrow. But then tomorrow you go in with a whole lot of other stuff you got to do, and then you want to work through your lunch break to finish that too. Like you're on this revolving door and it's not stopping. You have to make that stop. Dad says, you're better than this. Start looking. And I'm not, the person that knows what's going to happen on the seek.com, computer side or whatever else for jobs. I can't predict all that. But he's saying, get on there now and start looking. Because a lot of companies do close down over Christmas. But, thank you. Because a lot of companies, even if they're away for a couple of weeks in the January thing, they will still get your resume. Like they will still have that in a pile to come back to. So as much as there may not be a lot to actually look at Seek or Indeed or whatever those sites are, you can still go on there and have a look, and what bounces out at you, apply for it. Because you're even worth more money. I'm sorry, I don't even see you getting the right amount of money for the role that you're doing. I don't see much of this, and all I keep seeing is you're being taken for granted. And Dad's kind of saying, well, if she wants to speak to me, I'm here, but I'm here to kick her up the bum to sort of say, do something now, because if you don't do it now, it comes to next year, and then it comes to the financial year. Then all of a sudden we're at Christmas at the other end of next year, and you're still sitting in that chair working through lunch and staying back, and thinking, oh, they'll change their mind about me. They'll promote me sooner or later. And I actually don't see that, sweetheart. So stop wasting your time. You're wasting your talents with people that don't see your talents. And people who don't see your talents or don't see what you're bringing to the business, you need to overstep that somehow so you can be happier. Because I don't see you being even extremely happy when you come home from your job. Yes, you might say, well, I stayed late till I finished something. But whoopie-doo, when you get home, you're kind of like, oh. And then you kind of slouch in the chair, and then you don't want to do much with your night because it's not working for you. It's not exciting your energy field. It's not exciting your enthusiasm. It's actually bringing you down energy wise. It's lowering your energy field, if anything else. So I hope that helps.
Do that. I didn't. It's happened a couple of times tonight, and I've gone, I didn't touch it. But apparently that's who's next. They're a bit pushy.
Oh, well. Spirit obviously did it for you.
Magic.
Mel? Are you taking this one, Mel?
Are you muted? You're muted. Why are you muted?
Again?
Did you mute yourself or did I mute you? She was naughty.
She has a habit. She's just always
See?
Sorry.
Samantha, what I'm getting from your brother, and apologies, folks, for I forgot to plug myself in when I first joined the show. So, Samantha, what I am getting from your brother is he was kind of that quiet, shy, sitting in the corner kind of person. He certainly wasn't loud out there. He was one of those people that sort of was in the background. He often just did things in the background, wasn't doing it for praise, recognition, that sort of stuff. So he's often still supporting in the background is what I get there. He was one of those lovable lads that just did. He was like the one that everybody kind of relied on. Is the sense that I'm getting from him. I'm just asking if there's like specific things that he can show me. It's almost like if you guys had got given sweets or something as kids, it was like, well, what I'm seeing, Samantha, is you almost finished your stuff early, and he would often share. He was quite sharing and go, here you go, take some of mine. I'll just share with you. Sort of that loved cars. He's showing me a particular car. I'm not sure if he built it's like a little model. It's like a little model that he's showing me. Other way around with I'm just seeing sharing going backwards and forwards between you. But he's making a reference to the specific little model car he used to take with him, particularly when he was little. Often did things with his hands, so he was quite crafty, quite handy. It is what I'm seeing there. Shocking with money, though. It was like money came in, but money went out just as quick. And the message he's also saying there for you is, save a little bit in the bank. Because I'm seeing there's a financial aspect for you guys at the moment, and he's sort of saying, hey, sis, don't, like, money came in for me and money went out for me, but can you save a little bit for you guys? It's like financial wise, he's seeing that little bit of struggle that you're potentially going through at the moment, and he's saying, if possible, look at your spending. And there is a possibility of being able to save a little bit there. Hope that kind of helps, Samantha.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. We have approximately 2 minutes left.
And I have...
Hey, guys. What do you have?
No, I've got 20. What have I got? 24 minutes. That's okay. I can make a cup of tea in 24 minutes' time. Reapply lipstick. I'll be right.
I didn't look at the actual time. We've got to go, guys, because Ms Tique ready for hers. So,
That's okay.
I'm really sorry for those that we didn't get to, because there are so many people that come through and want readings, and we're only human at the end of the day. But what I want to say is thank you so much to the two of you for joining me tonight. It's been fabulous and amazing, and I love being able to watch you guys do your thing. It's quite a privilege for me to be able to share space with you guys. So thank you.
Thank you for having us, or thank you for having me. Mel will say her own, obviously, but we, I won't speak for both of us. I'll just speak for myself. It's a privilege.
No, please. It saves my voice. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You just mute yourself. Um, it is a privilege to work with spirit, alongside spirit, and to be able to deliver clear and precise messages to all your viewers. I feel honoured and blessed every time I come on here that you invite me, because just you yourself, wanting us on your show, when damn well that I have my own as well. And this is what we were talking about before. There is no competition. We all bring something different to the table, and there's no competition. There's no nothing. We have the greatest amount of respect for one another. And when you are real and you do everything with integrity and from the heart, this is where an enormous amount of us can work in this industry side by side and still be the best of friends and still not feel threatened by the person standing beside us. And there's some in the industry who do. And unfortunately, those are the ones that have an ego and they don't understand that we are all different. We're not all copying one another. We all read very, very differently. We all hear from spirit very, very differently. And I just feel, privileged that I've been able to deal with spirit for so long and communicate as clearly as I can with spirit. And my other roles in my other lines of work is still always about helping anybody in any capacity. So I'm grateful that you've asked me to come on, and I will be back on your show on New Year's Eve, and then I'll do my own after that again. Yes. So Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are all about everybody else, which is all good, because I had in my head that I didn't want people to spend Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve alone or not knowing what to do. And some people are sad at this time of the year because they don't have their loved ones with them, and other people are kind of, well, I feel lost without them. If anything, if I can tell all your viewers right now, tomorrow, whatever you're doing on Christmas, if you've lost a loved one, it is the simplest and the most highest respect you can pay to spirit is to set a place for them. So if you're having lunch or dinner on your own, or if you've got a small gathering, or whatever your circumstances are, if you put a plate out for them, I know some people might sounds crazy, but it actually is very, very true. If you put a plate out for them, you don't have to fill it with food. It can remain an empty plate and have a glass, again, ready for them. That is an automatic invitation for spirit to come and join you, because then they feel that they're very welcome to come in on your luncheon or dinner or whatever the case may be. That is you inviting them in without saying a word. And spirit understands that very, very well. And trust me, if you do that tomorrow or tomorrow night, wherever the case may be, or even on their anniversary or another special occasion, you will feel spirit, you will hear from spirit, and you will embrace it for all that it is. So if that is going to be my final word with you tonight, then I want everybody to try it and open yourselves up to doing that tomorrow, because you'll be so goddamn glad that you did. And you will feel the energy of your loved one right there beside you. So they can't be there in person, but you will feel their spirit, because it's an automatic opening for spirit to come into and because they will feel very, very welcomed. So again, Eileen, thank you for allowing me to be on, Mel, and obviously I'll give the floor over to Mel, because then I will, after that, shoot off and do mine. So if anyone wants to come across to Mystic or Ms Tique, I'll be on there live very, very soon.
I'll put the link in the comments.
Looking exactly the same.
Yeah.
To you, Mel.
Ladies,
beautiful. Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. As the beautiful Ms Tique said, it's always a pleasure to walk alongside very talented people, and it's a very humbling experience to be asked to come back onto other people's show. And Eileen, thank you so very much for having me, and Robin. It's always a pleasure to work alongside you, my love. Absolute pleasure. Likewise, Eileen, and to know that there is love and respect, and both Ms Tique and Eileen are absolutely correct in saying there is no competition. I don't see any ego or competition at all when I work alongside these beautiful ladies. And I say, as we support each other, we're here to do the same thing, and that is to be of service and to spirit and see what messages and things come through. And if there's things that we're supposed to help with, then that's what happens. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please stay safe, stay well, and just remember, you can always reach out to any single one of us, or there are Lifeline, those sorts of things if you need it during this time of year. We've all come from those sort of backgrounds where we do have that understanding, and we've done the Christmas alone. I know I certainly have in previous times. So please don't be scared to reach out. And Robin's so right, Ms Tique is so right, in the sense of leaving a glass out or leaving a plate and cutlery out for loved ones that have passed over. You will certainly feel the love and the warmth. If you're celebrating with other families or friends, you will suddenly find that stories will be being told, or you'll smell certain smells, that reminiscent aspect. So therefore you'll know that your loved ones are around you, very much so. So much love from my heart to every single one of you ladies. Thank you so very much. Good night. Have a good show later on, Rob.
Yeah, I'll be up for a while.
Good luck, guys. Have a happy Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas, guys. And next week we do have the beautiful Ms Tique back, but we also have Terry Fairburn coming back, the above average medium. So we will be medium plus medium equals awesome.
Yay! Wonderful. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for your questions, your comments, your validations. Your validations are always really important, and that gives us pride, further pride in what we do, and that you took the time to actually say, the validation. So we respect you as much as we have respect for ourselves and what we do. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and Eileen, enjoy your day with your family tomorrow, and be woken up at whatever hour in the morning. to express with your children that Santa has been. So you'll have a wonderful day. I don't doubt it at all. Merry Christmas, guys.
It will be great. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
No, it doesn't want to end. We're going to have to stay on.